If Vancouver's urban challenges were created by design, Trevor Boddy says there is hope that excellent design can carve the way to solutions as well. Boddy is a respected architecture critic, urban planner, and columnist, freelance writer. He studies the virtues and the problems of cities. It is my pleasure to welcome Trevor Boddy back to Studio 4 to tell us more, and I call you Mr. Vancouverism.
I guess so. Maybe you should call me Mr. Hybrid City now.
Yeah,
I think
what is that?
Vancouverism is over to some degree. It had its time and date. The city thrived under it, but I do think the city is evolving. It's changing. We're in a different tone and tenor right now.
And what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it means that the easy days are over.
Dang.
You
and Michael Campbell.
Yeah, I hate to say it. This is a sobering show, because I think that we're at the very end of the bubble,
the real estate bubble,
real
the
estate
what
bubble, and the bubble which shaped the city, which made the downtown we see today. The other forces that have made Vancouver for about 20 years are now changing and rearranging. Now we're up against some devilishly tough issues, like affordability. It makes housing the homeless look like a walk in the park. I mean, it really is a substantially difficult long-term haul issue.
Affordability for me, for you, for middle class, for whom?
Well, basically for the people that we need to fire our engines to make a new economy for something other than real estate. I think the saddest thing is that Vancouver has become a one-industry town.
Real estate.
And that one industry is real estate. And one industry towns have enormous problems when the world changes and they think it's going one way, it's really going another. So over the last 20, 25 years, the city has increasingly aligned its hopes, its visions, and its sense of itself around the notion that real estate is everything, and real estate will ever go up, and that you can't lose with Vancouver real estate. Already, people are losing with Vancouver real estate in the commercial sector. It's coming soon to the domestic.
So as I look around this neighborhood, there's the beautiful Shaw Tower where people work, and there are a lot of glass towers where people live, and people are walking their dogs downtown and their kids are downtown. Where are the head offices? Question.
They're not here. And we're leaking them rather than growing them. Our companies get to a certain size, they give up, they sell out, they leave town. I think it's fascinating to compare our town with Seattle. Some things very similar hinterlands, histories, ages, but you look at how Seattle has grown large companies and grown news businesses and innovative, and even when it comes to the city building agenda, my area of interest, you look around South Lake Union now, there's some very interesting things starting to happen with a mix of live and work in an area which is kind of like Yaletown. So I think we have to get away from this pampered syndrome that we're the best of all places, the best of all possible worlds. Maybe we were a while ago, I don't think we were. I think part of the problem is narrative, is the stories we tell ourselves about the city.
Well, we make the good lists. We get in Condé Nast as one of the greatest places to live, and it's not that it's not beautiful here and a great place to live, but you are saying what exactly?
Don't
too
believe
many
it.
Glass towers, too many empty apartments, not enough office space.
Not enough balance.
Not enough balance.
We really need to get, in the way that we got obsessed about planning and then about going green over the last 20 years, I think we now really have to rapidly shift towards growing wealth, new businesses, economic development. We've had it easy. We've run up the real estate curve as far as it can go. It's being sustained by the froth from the Chinese boom, et cetera. When that goes or reverses, we will dip. Not hugely, but we will dip.
European influence, European influx, perhaps?
There's no
Michael
way.
Campbell suggests things are not so good in Greece. The Greeks can come here and buy real estate? No?
There'll always be some of that, but the trouble is we've priced ourselves out of the world. I mean, if you look at the 5 most unaffordable cities in the world, Hong Kong first, we're second, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide. What's common to all these? Well, they're all dealing with the Chinese boom and with the Chinese middle class to invest somewhere. There's very low returns on savings accounts in China, and there's no
Okay,
pension
so
system.
and invest and leave in
Yeah,
many
and there's
cases.
no pension system, so you have to save for yourself and your parents. So there's a huge need that money's looking for homes. It's been so acute in Australia. Australian cities have put limits on speculative purchases, et cetera.
Interesting.
Hong Kong of all
Yes.
places, has done the same to limit speculative investment.
From outside.
And guess what? China has also put limits on purchases, second and third homes as investment. So it leaves us kind of out in the cold as the last wild open cowboy town for real estate that is willing to run up the prices as high as they'll go, seemingly for other benefits. I'm starting to question whether that logic can be continued. No, we've had a real estate boom here since the early 90s, which is one of the longest in our history. Every time I hear people in real estate tell me that it will go on forever, the world loves us, we are the best place to live, et cetera, I have to look at the hype cycle, and I keep going back to narrative. We've got to change the stories we tell ourselves about the city.
Okay, so who can afford to live here is the question. Who wants to live here? Who will live here? Tall, skinny condo towers everywhere, you suggest, growing like blades of grass in the city. Right? So urban living at its best. You're city planner now because apparently the last city planner is gone, Brent Todderin, gone. So Trevor Boddy, city planner, Vancouver, what would you dream? What would you change?
I would take on, the toughest issue, which is affordability. And we have to do some things that would fly in the face of political will. We've got to get very serious about densifying all of our arterial roads, like, say, Kingsway. You know, there's that high rise at Kingsway at night. I think it was a wonderful paradigm of what should happen all the way up and down the road. No one has had the gumption to push further on that. The market liked it, it sold well, et cetera. There's a bit of pushback, but I think that's easy. Arterial should develop. False Creek Flats, it's been underachieving zone for 100 years. Should it be high-tech? Should it be Great Northern Way, hub, et cetera? That's an area which we should very seriously think about redeveloping for both live and work, like Seattle's doing. We can do them both at the same time. We have this preserve it for muffler shop industrial land preservation policy, which is getting in the way. You can have land for downtown-related industrial uses and people living there.
Right, but we can't even decide what to do with the art gallery.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy.
That one's easy. If I was master planner, it would be in the old post office so quickly it'd make your head swim.
Yes,
it's a
that
perfect
makes sense
building,
to me too.
Perfect building for it, perfect location. It's a great clear span thing. I think, you know, in some ways, too many of our debates happen behind the curtain. That's one of them. But also, I think that the limits to the world of real estate. In other words, what happens when the real estate bubble ends? What is Vancouver without ever growing real estate?
And where's the heart? Yes.
Exactly.
And can we design our way out of this mess if we are in a mess?
Exactly. Individually and collectively, we built a political culture, an economic culture, and our own narratives of ourselves based on real estate always going up. If it doesn't, who the heck are we? And we have to start putting our head around that question. Otherwise, we're in real trouble. Because these markets can change blindingly quickly. We're not going to have a collapse. We might have a 10, 20% maximum drop. But that psychological effect will be enormous. I think in some cities like Toronto, when Toronto's boom tripped a bit in the early 90s, it turned out to be a really good time for the city. They put a lot of their arts institutions in order, they cleaned up, they improved neighborhoods and so on. I'm thinking that if the bubble bursts for a bit, it'll be a perfect time for us to take new account of who we are and where we're going.
Okay, I'll get
Done?
on that.
Okay.
Don't worry.
City manager.
I'm on it, not me. Okay, you can be city manager.
You're too tough. Yeah.
Thank you. Trevor Boddy, architecture critic, urban planner. Remember, you can catch all of our conversations on YouTube or follow us on Twitter at Fanny Studio 4.